My goodness, what a game. Look, Liverpool versus Manchester City was a proper showdown. In 2026, after the AFCON final between Morocco and Senegal, this is the next dramatic game I've seen in 2026. You would agree with me. Look, when the game started in the first half, 80% of those who watched would agree with me that it was slow, it was boring. But in the second half, that was where the entertainment was. That was where the drama was. Red cards, goals, officiating, penalty decisions. This game felt like a final, and I'm here to talk about this game. Liverpool lost to Manchester City by 2-1, and Arsenal fans are not happy about it. Yes, I don't know why Arsenal fans are so interested in this game. Why are you interested? Focus on your own. Focus. But I'm here to talk about this game. So please, let's jump into it. I want this to be conversational because there are a lot of talking points in today's game. So we are going to talk about it. Let's begin with the first half. In the first half, it was boring. It was not entertaining. It was one way because Man City was controlling everything. Possession, Man City. Chances created, Man City. Shot on target, Man City. Every single thing was Man City, Man City, Man City. And I was not happy about the way they played. At the end of the day, no one cares about possession. Win, score goals. I was expecting Man City to capitalize on the way they played in the first half, score goals. But they were not able to score because Haaland was getting clear-cut chances in the first half, and we're not taking them. Omar Mamouche, the same thing. He was not taking them. Even Antoine Semenyo was a shadow of himself today. And this is where I bring my point concerning that player. Look, he's a player we know does very well on the wide right or on the wide left. But for today, he was playing narrowly. He was more or less playing centrally. I did not understand the idea. But what I noticed in that game is that anytime he moves centrally, Kekes follows him. Anytime Semenyo moves, Kekes is following him. So I now get the idea, okay, Pep wants Semenyo to draw Kekes from his position so that Bernardo Silva can occupy that position. Because in the first half, Semenyo was playing on the right. Look, if I told you I enjoyed it, I did not. Because Semenyo is not a player who takes on players like 1v1 situation. He's not good at that. And today it was so clear. His dribbling, I think he needs to improve on it. Secondly, he was out of the game because he was not on the wide, but he was narrow. More or less, he was playing as an inside forward. I did not enjoy it because that is not true to his talent and also his nature. You understand my point? I would have hoped he would have played what he usually plays on the wide right, so that he can take on Kekes there. I like the idea of him drawing Kekes out of position, but I just did not like it because at the end of the day, it did not help him play the game the way he should. I did not like his performance. But in the first half, let's talk about the officiating. There was a penalty incident that I believe should have gone to Man City. Omar Mamouche and Konate. That should have been a clear penalty. You guys would agree with me, but it was not given. It was not given. Look, today's game, the officiating was so bad. But then there is not much to talk about in the first half. Unlike the second half. Look, let me tell you this. In 2026, Man City have been awful in second halves. Every time they play in second halves in 2026, they struggle a lot. So normally, if you notice, when they want to win games, they try to win it in the first half, and then in the second half, they play poorly and pray to their God that they do not concede. But today, it was different because in the second half, Man City scored 2 goals. 2 goals, and they did a comeback. Look, I never expected them to do a comeback because 2026, history-wise and also statistics-wise, it really did not look good, especially in second halves. You understand? So when Szoboszlai scored that free kick, I was like, goodness me, what is all this? Man City conceding first in the second half, what are they going to do? Only for them to respond swiftly from a goal from Bernardo Silva. Good goal. Good goal. You understand why Rancheki should be starting games in this team? Because immediately Rancheki was introduced in the second half, Man City played quite differently. Semenyo moved from the left Semenyo moved from the right to the left, but was still playing narrowly, and I thoroughly did not enjoy his game. I think Cheki gave Man City a different look with the way he played, because that whole attack to the way they equalized that goal came from Ryan Cherki. That was it. And if you take a look at the way Man City played in the second half after equalizing, it will blow your mind. I'm telling you, it would blow your mind. Now, the second goal they scored was a penalty. And I want to talk about a few things that happened in the second half, because that was where the chaos was. Now, let's talk about the second half. In the 55th minute, look, there was a clear chance for Liverpool, which I believe Liverpool played very well in the second half. There was a chance to Ekitike. He should have scored. Clear-cut chance, but he did not score that one, which was very, very bad. In the 74th minute, Szoboszlai scored a free kick, which in my own opinion was very beautiful. The ball changed direction. It changed direction while on its way, like while in motion, the ball changed direction, which was wild in my own opinion. Now, if you notice, in the 84th minute, Bernardo Silva, he equalized. A very brilliant goal, assisted by Erling Haaland. Look, if you take a look at that game, Erling Haaland scored a goal and provided an assist, but under normal circumstances, he was quite poor in that game. That is the honest truth. But then also, there was an incident that happened that a lot of people were talking about. It was between Maguire and also Mo Salah. Now, a lot of people believe Maguire should have received a red card because he was the last man. But I don't believe he was the last one, because the foul happened outside the box. If the foul had happened inside the box, then he would have been the last man. But it happened outside the box, and he wasn't the last man as of then. So the foul was given outside the box and not inside the box. That is why he received a yellow card. But then there are still arguments concerning whether this is a penalty or not. I believe it wasn't a penalty. The foul was committed outside the 18-yard box, and another one was committed inside. So it was first foul first. So guys, that is one of the few things that are some of the huge talking points concerning this game in the second half. Also, the penalty decision, concerning the penalty decision given to Manchester City, I think Matheus Nunes was very smart in this particular situation, because Alisson should have known better. He was not going to do anything different with that ball. Because look, if he had controlled that ball in any way, there was no way he would have scored from his position, Matheus Nunes. But I think Alisson felt like, look, let me just at least commit, and then there's nothing going to happen. And that penalty was given. It was given, and Erling Haaland did the needful, scored the penalty, and after took off his shirt. Bro, you did not play anything, you're taking off your shirt. Erling Haaland did not play anything, but he took off his shirt. That's crazy. That's like the wildest goal celebration I've seen in that game. Look, he did not play anything, but he was taking off his shirt for a penalty, and he received a yellow card for that. Alisson also received a yellow card for the incident. So as at this point, it was 2-1 in favor of Manchester City. Now, let's move away from that. Man City scored a third goal in that game, getting to the 9 minutes of the game. The goalkeeper, Alisson, joined the rest of the players because they were trying to equalize in the game. But then the ball fell to Cherki, and he played a straight ball to the pole. Now, it was a tight race between Erling Haaland and also Szoboszlai. I hope I got to pronounce it right. Look, that race, it was quite funny. It was interesting because, one, Szoboszlai pulled Erling Haaland's shirt. And when they got to the 18-yard box, Erling Haaland also pulled his shirt, but the ball did not touch either of them. So that goal was initially awarded to Cherki, only for the referee to be called by the VAR to go check that. Now the goal was disallowed. Szoboszlai was given a red card for the first foul because he was the last man. He was the last man to do or to commit the foul, and the drama in that game never ends. It was crazy. But guys, the second half was just enjoyable throughout, and I've decided to break it down to you, sin after sin after sin after sin, as to whatever happened in that game. Let me know what you think about it. Do you think the officiating in today's game was the best? I'm not going to lie to you, the officiating wasn't the best. It was very bad in today's game, but at the end of the day, it made the game enjoyable. Look, officiating cannot be 100%. So if it goes your way, you enjoy it. As simple as that. If it doesn't go your way, you complain. That is as far as you can. You understand my point? Also, when you take a look at the league log right now, the points difference between Arsenal and Manchester City is 6 points. I don't know why Arsenal are fussing about this. You have 6 points. Trust me, you can go as long as you can to take this league if you want to. 6 points is huge. That's like two wins. You understand? Definitely, Man City are going to drop points. That is where Arsenal needs to take the advantage. You don't need to worry about what Man City is doing. So where I see a lot of Arsenal fans, when the penalty decision does not go in favor of Liverpool, they are complaining. You are not the referee. You understand my point? You are not the referee. But at the end of the day, the game was enjoyable. Man City won, which we all did not expect. If I told you I expected Man City to win in that second half, I would lie to you, because Liverpool were the better team in the second half. They played better in the second half. They controlled the game better in the second half. Only that the few moments Man City had in that game, they scored. They were also very lucky in today's game. Look at the penalty situation, for instance. That was a lucky situation in that game for Manchester City. So I felt like overall that game was just entertaining. It looked like a proper big game in my own opinion. My man of the match will go to Maguire. Excellent player by our standard. He shows you why Man City sided. Maguire was excellent throughout the game. But if you watch the game from start to finish, Maguire and also Antoine Semenyo, they were being booed by the Liverpool fans. They were booed anytime they were on the ball. They were booed every single time. But this one goes to Antoine Semenyo. I need you to work on your dribbling ability. Now, you are playing in the EPL, you know and understand how the EPL is. You understand my point. You need to know how to take on players at certain points in your game. So far, I have not been impressed with the way he takes on players. I believe that it is very important as much as scoring the goals. Scoring the goals are excellent, but then you need to start taking on players, because if you don't and you are dispossessed, you destroy the rhythm and the flow of your team's play. As simple as that. And we saw it several times today, which I did not like. But he did some few good things in the game, like the crosses that he delivered for Mamouche, which I believe Mamouche should have done a better job with it. But then overall, good performance from Man City. Liverpool, better luck next time. I know they are going to complain about the officiating, but as I said, if it goes your way, you don't complain. If it doesn't go your way, you complain. So guys, let me know what you think about today's game. It was crazy. It was chaotic. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. I'll make sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, we go vibe.